everybody, water is life, right? And we all got that message a few weeks ago that said no outdoor watering during an emergency shutdown of a pipeline from September 6th to September 20th. Now, I don't know about you, but all I could think about was my rose bush and my plants. I could give up on the grass. I got that, but I immediately got angry. Like, why are they doing this to me? But then, just like everything, you start to learn about what the reasoning is. And the reason is there's a 36-mile upper feeder pipeline that's run by the Metropolitan Water District that delivers the water to us from the Colorado, and it's got a leak. I mean, this is serious, folks. They did an emergency fix a while ago, but they got to get into this. And Glendale receives about 60% of our water from this supply. And I want to show you a picture right now of a covering, and it's here. So this is the area that is going to have the water loss. It's kind of, or the restrictions. It's kind of wild because you're like, well, that's crazy. If you just go over to Glendale, you can get a jug of water and come back and water my rose tree, right? But these are the people that are going to be affected. More than 40 million people are going to be without water. I believe that's the right number. Or is it 4 million? Oh, well, I'll check my facts. But anyways, it's pretty scary. And it's, what I learned though, is that we can water our trees right before Monday night. So everybody's going to be watering their trees Monday. So don't do your laundry and don't take a shower because the water pressure is going to be low. But I did a little bit more research because I'm like, what is this water metropolitan division? You know, we just open the tap and get our water. We don't even think about it. But I found this video that I want to share that I think is fascinating. And this is amazing. This is our water, Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. This is a pipe to people. And this was created for as we grew. I had no idea. And one of the things I think is really interesting, and I really encourage everybody to check out this website, mwdh20.com, because we all need to get involved in this, guys. If anybody read the book Guns, Germs, and Steel, I believe it was called. It was a bestseller in the 90s. Californians killed each other over water. That's what our ancestry did. We hit each other over the head to get water rights. And I'm going to start paying attention to these board meetings. I'm going to start holding people accountable. And they have this like choose your little adventure. Well, I don't want to live life without water. And then it goes on to, you know, going through this fancy website, which I give the webmaster credit. But there's also some other stuff on this that actually is going to show the progress of the job. And earlier today, when I was testing this out, it actually came up, but now it's not. And there's a button here that you can find on this website, and it will tell you the process of this project that they're going to be working over the next couple of weeks. So I encourage everybody to check this out because this is scary. But before I go into some other ways, I did a little bit more digging because, you know, we keep hearing about the drought. We keep hearing about all these different aspects, but we've always had droughts. And the bigger issue is that climate change is making things drier, period. I just read an article in the LA Times today in Bakersfield. they have something called valley fever. And the only reason I'm familiar with it is because a lot of people end up on dialysis from valley fever. And this is a fungus that grows. And when it's drier, it gets, you breathe it, you can't escape it. And valley fever is being increased in Bakersfield because of this fungus is getting more prevalent because of the dry weather. I don't know, I just got an alert on my phone during this meeting that there is a, some beach is having problems because there's all this algae. And when we start to get warm as a society, that as we all know, we're heating up, is that we get more bugs. And, you know, how many times have you seen these stories of bugs everywhere? And, you know, so we have to get this right. And people keep saying they're blaming everything on the drought. And I think a lot of it can be done by us making choices, because the more the world heats up, the more droughts we're gonna have. And it's, you know, as soon as we keep doing the fossil fuel, I applaud, you know, Californians for taking the lead on that. We got to make some tough choices and change. I did a little bit more digging because, you know, I heard this little fact that I watched a show online and I'm like, wow, I've never heard that before. And what it has to do with is water rights. If we don't know about water rights, we need to know about them. They were established in 1922, and it was all the states around the Colorado River, because, you know, the public owns the Colorado River, that the states border it. And we all decided who would get what water in 1922. And I'm not going to disclose who this person is, but they told me that they have a ranch in Colorado and the neighbor is not usually there. So if you don't use your water rights, you lose your water rights. So that means if you are using 100 gallons of water a month that was allocated to you for your water rights, and you don't use 100 gallons again, you could be down to 80 gallons of water and you never get it back. This is insane. There are people in Arizona growing alpha sprouts so that they can keep their water rights, because I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we bring the water over to our ranch so that we can help our neighbors keep their water rights. And I read some of this. I was like, oh my God. And thank goodness, the first US government announced a first ever water shortage of Colorado River was in August of 2021, which triggers the potential to change these water rights, which is critical. I mean, guys, I have problems with politicians and elected officials, but we need them to solve this. We need them not to argue. And it's been really, really frustrating because, you know, it continues on, and we've all seen, I need to show you this picture because this, I don't know, I'm scaring myself just talking about it. But this picture, so if you can see this picture, right? That's Lake Mead, everybody. It's like 20 to 25% lower than normal. And let me tell you a little scary fact here. If that dam gets too low, it doesn't make power. And we have to figure this out as a community. And I'm not going to complain about watering my rose bushes anymore. I am going to get some buckets and I'm going to put them in the shower, and I'm going to save every ounce of water I can. My grass can go, my orange tree, no. And so I think it's really important that we understand how to conserve water. And I think one of the things that's really important is there's a great handout on the City of Glendale's website about how to prior to shut down. You know, you can weed your garden and avoid fertilizing lawns. You know, we need to just let our lawns go, guys. And I saw somebody pitching an idea. They'll come and spray your lawn green if you want, and it's supposed to be eco-friendly, but I'm not so sure about that. We also need to really think about, you know, indigenous plants, and as we plant new things, are they friendly to the California environment? So we don't have to spend tons of water watering, you know, a plant that doesn't belong here. And then a couple of other things we can do is don't wash all the time. Spray your clothes and air them out. And don't put the dishwasher. If you just drink a glass of water, or you know, you don't need to wash everything. We don't need to keep the faucet going. And then last but not least, because, you know, Roxy brought up the about, you don't need to flush the toilet every time you go to the bathroom, guys. There was a rule when we were younger, and everybody knows what that rule is, I hope. But do you know it, Elisa? What is that rule, Elisa?
If it's yellow, it's mellow. If it's brown, it goes down.
Well, and you know, it's not always fun to think about that. But you know, when you flush that toilet, there's a whole bunch of water that goes just wasted. And one thing's not to do is don't use, I just heard this. I'm like, are you kidding me? They're taking their soap from their laundry or the water, and they're like, oh, I'm going to water my plants with that. And I'm like, now you got to use good common sense, right? But I think we all need to get motivated, learn the facts about this, get engaged. We need our elected officials to be talking about this every day, because I'm not, oh, and another fact, we all need to be prepared, because people are going to start hoarding water out in their yards. Can you see it now? They're going to have buckets of water, and they're going to take their hose and fill it up so that they can water everything. Are you in agreement? We are going to have a mosquito outbreak of the 10th degree. If people don't understand, they got to cover it, they got to be careful with it, because then we'll have another crisis. And mosquitoes are carrying a lot of things nowadays. And we need to protect ourselves. We need to wake up and realize that water isn't a source that's always available. And I don't want to go club somebody over the head for a glass.